and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Thursday, March 6th. We begin with news on Indy's northwest side, where police are still working to learn what led to a shooting that wounded 2 people. IMPD says that officers were called to the Georgetown Shop Center just west of 56th and Georgetown a little after 6 last night. Police say they found one person with a gunshot wound. At last check, that person is in critical condition. About 15 minutes later, police say they were told of another person shot walking into a hospital. Investigators say that person is believed to be connected to the shooting and was stable. At this time, police have not released details about any suspects. A Muncie woman is facing charges after prosecutors say she drowned a child in Texas, claiming it was a baptism in a bathtub. Prosecutors say Nakia Martin was babysitting for her cousin in Harris, Texas, when the incident happened back in September 2023. She wasn't arrested until more than a year later because of the length of the investigation. Investigators say that Martin was bathing with the children when she rubbed what the surviving kids called blessing oil on their necks, then held the kids underwater in the tub. Investigators say 2 other kids, ages 6 and 8, managed to escape, but the 4-year-old eventually stopped moving. Martin is now charged with capital murder and is set to appear in a Texas courtroom March 20th. The new leader of the Indianapolis Housing Agency says she is ready to bring stability to the city's housing system. She recently had a conversation with IT Made about her plans. News 8's Tim Spears reports.
She's coming to Indianapolis under very difficult circumstances. The IHA has stopped accepting voucher applications and limited office hours, and it essentially rebuilds its operation from the ground up. How bad is it?
So what I will tell you is that I am still making those assessments.
One of the first priorities for IHA's new CEO, Yvonne Bean, has been communication. It's why tenants are lining up at Indianapolis Housing Agency for walk-in Wednesdays, a chance for voucher holders and landlords to talk to their case manager in person.
This community deserves a stable housing authority, and we're going to get there. It's just going to take some time.
Just last year, a cyber attack impacted IHA's ability to issue Section 8 voucher payments. The city and Department of Housing and Urban Development took control of the agency's operations. Then IHA initiated a partial shutdown last September as it worked to update recovered databases.
And we've had to kind of start over.
Her first week on the job, Bean personally visited IHA-run properties to talk to residents. After more than 25 years working in affordable housing, Bean considers troubled agencies like IHA to be a bit of a specialty for her.
I have seen organizations with challenges that I've been able to work alongside a dynamic group of different people to overcome.
IHA is replacing its antiquated computer systems with new laptops, which should be finished by the end of next week, and hopes to update software in the coming months. But she's asking people, whether they're waiting in line or spend years living under IHA, to be patient as the agency lays a new foundation for the future.
Well, what I can tell you is it won't happen overnight. It will take time to get to where we need to be.
She's working on a 12-month action plan for IHA that she plans to release in the coming weeks. In studio, Tim Spears for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
In other news, the State Board of Animal Health says that more than 3,200 ducks were affected at a commercial breeder in Adams County. The USDA says that Indiana leads the nation in duck production. The board says control areas have been activated at farms in parts of Adams and neighboring Jay County in northeastern Indiana. According to the Animal Health Board's dashboard, this is the 22nd farm to be impacted by bird flu this year, affecting 6.9 million birds. On Capitol Hill, President Trump says he is granting automakers in the U.S. a month exemption on his 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada. This marks a reversal of Trump's previous insistence that there would be no exemptions from the tariffs that took effect on Tuesday and helped lead to major drops in stock prices due to worries about the impact on the economy. The White House says the pause for automakers comes after Trump talked to leaders from Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis yesterday. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Trump told them to begin shifting production to the U.S. to avoid those tariffs. Here at the State House, critics continue to blast a bill that would freeze property taxes for some Hoosiers. Garrett Bergquist reports.
This has become the headline issue for this session and for the new Braun administration, and it's now up to the House's budget writers what form it takes. Ella Harris teaches math at an Indianapolis middle school. She tells me even in its current form, the property tax bill puts her and her colleagues at risk.
When funding cuts for school budgets happen, yes, sometimes they cut teacher pay, but they also, and so because of that, they're attracting less teachers to the profession. Less new people are joining, but they're also cutting training for teachers, professional development for teachers.
The current proposal expands deductions for low-income seniors and disabled veterans. It creates a tax credit for first-time low-income home buyers. It also caps by how much property taxes can grow through 2029. It does not allow all homeowners to reset their taxes to 2021 levels, as Governor Mike Braun wanted.
The governor's been transparent and consistent in every conversation he's had on the issue for well over a year. Government should not grow faster than the taxpayer's ability to pay for it. At the end of this process, we need to make certain that taxpayers of all types have greater certainty and predictability in their tax bills going forward.
The current price tag, $238 million next year and $687 million by 2028. Indianapolis Public Schools alone would still lose more than $1 million next year.
Is that an adequate savings to justify this bill?
Well, we're looking at the total, Representative, and that's about $1.4 billion over the 3-year period of time.
No matter what lawmakers do, it's already too late to do anything about your property tax bills for this year.
Those budgets were determined by August and September of last year for schools, cities, towns, and counties, and that rate and that levy is being assessed on your 26 bill because it's 25 tax payable in 24 tax payable in 25.
The House Ways and Means Committee did not vote on the bill. We already know Governor Mike Braun and House Speaker Todd Houston have worked out some sort of amendment package for the bill, but they have not publicly said what form that will take. The committee would vote on it next week at the earliest. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Let's talk sports. A few men's college teams were in action last night. Notre Dame freshman Cole Serta hit a go-ahead three with 16 seconds left to give the Irish a 56-54 win over Stanford. Butler lost at home to Xavier on senior night. The Bulldogs fell 91-78. Now when it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 says today will be a cloudy but sunny day. Meteorologist Tara Hastings has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
It's going to be a cooler day today, still pretty breezy out there, but I think all day today, at least we will be on the dry side. We've got mostly cloudy conditions right now. Live look downtown, 31 degrees in Indianapolis. The winds still pretty breezy out of the west-northwest at 19 miles per hour. That is creating a wind chill or feels like temperature at this hour at 19. Now, we do still have some gusty winds, and they've switched direction. Yesterday, they were out of the south and southwest. Right now, more west to northwest. And we've got gusts around 30 miles per hour here in Indianapolis, 36 in Richmond, and 31 mile per hour wind gusts up in Kokomo here. So a windy start to your day with these wind chill values. Feels like temperatures in the upper teens, right around that 20 degree mark here for this morning. I do think we're going to see some improvements later this afternoon with the wind and also the temperatures. I also think we're going to see a little bit of sunshine later today as well. We still have some cloud cover across much of the state, but the clearing line now beginning to enter western sections of Indiana. So we will see some sunshine later this afternoon. It is going to be a dry day today and still on the cooler side, a little bit below normal for this time of year. 36 degrees at 11 o'clock this morning, and we'll see those temperatures climbing into the mid-40s later today. Again, with some sunshine, the winds out of the west-northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour, and they'll be gusty to start off the day, but those gusts will begin to die down here later this afternoon. We'll go with a high today into the mid-40s. We do have lots of improvement heading into the weekend and also next week. We'll share that 7-day forecast with you coming up in just a few minutes.
To get a peek at Tara's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Thursday, March 6th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.